We're going to turn now to a developing story out of San Francisco, where voters last night ousted 3 members of its Board of Education in a landslide recall election.
This is a huge story.
Yeah,
politically, nationwide, this is a huge story.
The recall of each member was supported by more than 70% of voters. Critics accused them of putting progressive politics over priorities like the pandemic. For example, the board was criticized for trying to rename schools when many parents...
Including schools named after Abraham Lincoln and Dianne Feinstein.
And this is when many parents wanted to focus on the reopening of schools. Some of the schools targeted were named after Abraham Lincoln, as Joe said, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and even longtime U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein. The election also galvanized Asian American parents after the board changed admissions requirements for one of the city's most prestigious high schools. San Francisco Mayor London Breed, who supported the recall, will now have to appoint replacements.
And of course, Elise Jordan, the headline here is that this is happening in San Francisco, and one of the most progressive cities in America. And you have parents, and this is a clear warning. We saw it from Virginia. We can now say, you know, from Norfolk to San Francisco. You had parents in the Virginia election enraged that schools were shut down for too long, that there was too much distance learning. They were talking about critical race theory, which, of course, we've heard is not taught in Virginia schools. But still, you're hearing the same thing about a rebellion. And I've been saying this for a couple of years. People get really angry. Some people in their mom's basement on Twitter get really angry and tweeting out, how dare you, talking about woke politics. It really pisses off liberals. It pisses off liberals as much as it pisses off conservatives. Woke politics is actually really hurting Democratic candidates. And you take that, and you take again, Asian Americans and the feelings that you know they're actually being preyed upon, not just physically in violence, but also politically. And it was a toxic mix, and a very liberal city threw out 3 progressive board members, and it wasn't even close.